Hey guys, welcome to part 3 of Plato's Republic. I'm very excited to dive in, and spoiler alert, this may or may not be the first time Plato and I disagree on some things. Also, link down below in the description are parts 1 and 2 if you want to catch up to where we are now. So part 3 is answering the second of our key questions, that being, who is a just person? And in this book, Plato lays out his plan to create just citizens and what goes into that, starting from childhood. And Plato, through the character of Socrates, lays out a 4-part plan to create just citizens. The first is censoring art and poetry. And that may sound absurd, but it's for a very specific reason. Plato thinks that art and poetry should be used to promote moral goods. So if it's depicting bad things in a positive light, Plato doesn't think it should be allowed within that society. And I agree with this to an extent. I think free speech is very important, but I also think we should be promoting good things for people. Now, do I think other types of ideas in art and poetry should be banned? Absolutely not. But I do think art should aim to promote moral goods. Furthermore, along the lines of art and poetry, Plato also discusses acting. He thinks that actors shouldn't depict drunkenness, foolishness, or debauchery in a positive light because everything that is made should promote moral goods. It shouldn't promote evil, in Plato's opinion. Also, specifically, Plato's ideas of virtues are as follows. He specifically wants art and poetry to promote honesty, valor, and compassion. And he also wants the art to depict the gods as always good, never doing anything evil or wrong. So that's kind of the first area where me and Plato kind of diverge on our opinions. But we're covering the book, so I thought it'd be good for you to know what his ideas are. The second part of Plato's 4-step plan to create just citizens is instituting both music and athletics into the curriculum, so to speak. To Plato, having both of these creates well-rounded people, but he also argues that there shouldn't be too much of each. Having too much music will make you soft, and too much athletics will make you an ignorant brute, in his opinion. It is also at this point that I agree but also disagree. I think it's important to be well-rounded, but Plato had just went on in the previous 2 books about the importance of aptitudes and doing what you're good at. And if somebody's really good at athletics, I don't see any problem in promoting their skill within that and helping them grow to be the best athlete they can be, and vice versa for music. The third part of Plato's plan to create just citizens is choosing leaders wisely. Even though in Plato's ideal society, everybody would grow up to be just human beings, choosing leaders is a whole different set of criteria. Plato argues that only the wisest and most altruistic people can be fit to be leaders, because looking out for other people is important, and making smart decisions is very important. And I think this is very applicable to our own lives. If we want to be leaders, we have to be thinking about others to create a society where people can help each other out. If one person falls, everybody can rally around them and pick them back up, as well as being wise to know what's good and what's bad in certain situations. And even if we're not called to be the leaders, it's also important to pick leaders that fit those criteria. Selfish leaders who take bribes or are tempted by the worldly things are not going to be great for helping a society out. If everybody is looking outward, that's what's truly going to help a society be good and just. And I wholeheartedly agree with Plato here. Now, the final part of Plato's 4-step plan to create just citizens is one I wholeheartedly disagree with. But I'm going to explain it first and then discuss my disagreements with the idea. And that idea is the noble lie. See, Plato argues that a noble lie is necessary to ensure that all citizens in a society grow up to be just. And from a young age, he argues that children should be told that they come from the earth, and each person represents a different metal, with rulers being gold, the next step below, the leaders and soldiers that are below leaders but above the regular people are depicted as silver, and the bottom people are bronze. And he argues that everybody should be told this, even though it is a lie, so that way people naturally fit their places in society and can be the best they can be, in his opinion. Also, he argues that it shouldn't be a social caste system, it should be based on what people are good at. So if people are naturally fit to be a leader, they should be told that they are gold, and so on and so forth. Now, I don't think it's ever good to lie to an entire society. I think it's a very dystopian idea to create allegiance to Plato's government. He doesn't want anybody disagreeing with the morals set by his government, and he doesn't want people to disagree with that. So from a young age, they're told where they fit within that society to discourage dissent. And I don't think that is a very wise idea. People should be told the truth. If your system is that good, telling the truth will convince them, not lying to them. I think Plato's Republic, Part 3, has been the most important read so far of the entire book. It shows us that even though these people from ancient times are very wise and have a lot of ideas that we can take to heart, they also have ideas that we can disagree with, and that's okay. And I think it's very important that we expose ourselves to ideas we may or may not disagree with, so that way we know how to combat them in our own lives and formulate our own opinions. And I enjoyed the book, and I am very excited to take on part 4 with y'all very, very soon. So thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe if you want, and y'all have a good one.